You ever stop and think about how electrons, the tiniest little particles spinning inside every atom, have been moving non-stop since the very beginning of the universe? They don't need batteries, they don't need fuel, they don't even need sunlight. They just keep going forever. Eternal motion built right into nature itself. And here's the strange part. Scientists have known this for more than 100 years, yet they told us turning that endless movement into usable energy was impossible. But what if I told you there was a man who stood up and challenged that impossible? A man who claimed he built a machine that could run forever. No gas, no wires, no sunlight, just magnets. A machine they said could never exist. An invention that was fought, buried, and stripped away from him. So why was it erased from history? Who stood to lose if his idea spread? And why is his name resurfacing now, decades later, after they tried so hard to wipe him out? That's what we're going to uncover in today's episode. The man who challenged the impossible. His name was Howard Johnson, born in 1919. And he wasn't just some hobbyist tinkering in his garage with crazy dreams. He was a trained mechanical engineer from the University of Minnesota, later studying at Vanderbilt University, where he dove deep into the mysteries of magnetism. Even before he started thinking about magnetic motors, he was already a recognized inventor. He designed silencers for military generators, anti-skid braking systems, and medical injection devices. His creations were built, used, and adopted in the real world. In other words, he wasn't some out-of-touch dreamer. He was a man solving real problems with real solutions. But while studying magnetism, he noticed something he couldn't ignore. Inside magnetic materials, electrons spin and move without ever stopping, without consuming any outside energy. For him, this wasn't just a scientific curiosity, it was a key. If nature already gave us eternal motion, why couldn't we harness it? While the scientific establishment laughed at the idea, Johnson quietly pressed on. He wasn't chasing money, he wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing truth. In 1979, after decades of experiments, Johnson was awarded U.S. patent number 4151431. This wasn't some theoretical promise. It wasn't a sketch on paper. It was a working machine, a motor that ran only on magnets, spinning endlessly without fuel or electricity. And here's the shocking part. The U.S. Patent Office doesn't hand out patents for fairy tales. For him to get one, they had to see something real. His invention was essentially a rotating magnetic generator, a wheel lined with carefully angled magnets spinning continuously. No wires, no gas, just magnetic force. Johnson calculated the placement and angle of each magnet with surgical precision, creating what he called a magnetic imbalance, a force that kept pushing the wheel forward without end. Witnesses who saw the device couldn't believe their eyes. A wheel that needed only a gentle push to start, then spun without slowing down. Some swore it even gained speed as time went on. Johnson didn't stop with one design. He built multiple prototypes, each more advanced than the last. The permanent magnetic motor used what he called magnetic gates that allowed motion to continue endlessly. Johnson claimed this device could generate around 20 kilowatts, enough to power an entire household or a small farm. The high-power magnetic generator was a more complex machine with multiple magnetic layers designed to produce over 100 kilowatts. That's enough to power a neighborhood without a single drop of fuel. These weren't just blueprints, they were real tested models, a ready-made roadmap for global energy independence. No grids, no emissions, no dependence on fossil fuels. But as soon as the potential of his invention became clear, the resistance began. Suddenly, new patents stopped going through. Investors who were once interested vanished without explanation. Scientific journals refused to publish his research, not because it was disproven, but because they wouldn't even look at it. And worse, his workshop was broken into more than once. But the thieves didn't steal cash or equipment, they only took his notebooks and schematics. He started getting anonymous threats. He lost draining legal battles. Even friends and colleagues distanced themselves from him. It wasn't an open attack. It was a silent erasure, a coordinated effort to make him vanish. Think about it. If he was just a fraud, why bother? Frauds get laughed at, not hunted. The truth is, Johnson's invention threatened billion-dollar industries: oil, coal, nuclear power, electric utilities. He had built a working machine. And for that, They tried to erase him from history. But some things can't be buried. His patent still exists, a public document anyone can read, laying out exactly how his motor worked. And then came the internet. His diagrams and photos started spreading across forums. Independent scientists and hobbyists around the world began building their own versions. In Germany, a team reported a magnetic device running for 400 hours non-stop. In Japan, another group built a version that seemed to defy the laws of physics. In America, backyard inventors posted videos of wheels spinning endlessly. Not everyone was able to replicate Johnson's results completely, but there was enough success, enough mystery to keep people pushing forward. And the biggest proof of all, the effort to suppress it. Because as the saying goes, nobody works this hard to hide a hoax. The irony is, very attempts to bury Johnson may be the strongest proof that his work was real. Thousands of perpetual motion attempts have come and gone in history, most ignored or ridiculed. But Johnson, he was treated as an existential threat. Break-ins, lawsuits, stolen notes, institutional silence. That doesn't happen unless what you've got is dangerous. Dangerous to the status quo. And Johnson wasn't alone. Stanley Meyer, the man who invented a car that ran on water, died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. Eugene Malivore, who fought for cold fusion research, was murdered. John Hutchison's lab was raided, his works confiscated. This isn't coincidence. This is a pattern. Today, decades later, Howard Johnson's ideas are coming back, not in corporate labs, but in small workshops, garages, and maker spaces all around the world. With new tools like 3D printers, powerful neodymium magnets, and advanced simulation software, a new generation is picking up where Johnson left off. Online forums are packed with schematics. Communities share their experiments. Videos circulate of magnetic motors spinning for days. Some claim to have achieved what's called over-unity, machines that output energy than they consume, defying everything we've been taught. Is it fringe science? Maybe. Is it the beginning of a revolution? Probably. Because this time, the idea doesn't belong to just one man. It's in the hands of thousands. Howard Johnson's motor wasn't just a machine. It was a seed. And today, after decades of being buried, that seed is starting to grow again. Maybe the world in the 1970s wasn't ready for free, limitless energy. But today, in a time of climate crises and global energy wars, maybe, just maybe, the time has come. The real question isn't, did Johnson succeed? The real question is, what happens when enough people finally believe it's possible? The future is knocking at our door. Are we ready to open it?